Welcome back to Digital Wandering. Today I want to show you the Nokia Lumia 930. And this is my favorite smartphone of all time. This device was originally released in 2014, and it's the third Nokia device I've shown on this channel. The previous Nokia devices was the Nokia Lumia 635 and then the Nokia N9. Why do I like this device so much? Well, one thing is looks. I find this device to be extremely attractive. It has a plastic back, and a lot of people consider plastic on a smartphone as a sign that it's cheap. But Nokia really knew how to utilize plastic as a material. It's attractive, and it also holds up to wear and tear very well. So I've always been attracted to a lot of their phones, and that's why I've shown so many of them on this channel. And it also has the metal frame around it, which is fairly attractive. And I have four of these devices. I like them so much. Again, this phone came out in 2014, but I didn't get my first until 2018. So well after this phone was released. Also, the specs on this device really hold up even till today, especially if you're looking at like budget or mid-range phones. Had a very pixel-rich screen at 441 pixels per inch. Has a great camera, the 20 megapixel camera. Has optical image stabilization and 4K recording. Is it as great as a flagship camera today? No, but it still does a good job. Especially in natural light outside. Indoors, it can sometimes struggle. It doesn't have as good a low light capabilities of the modern flagship from a recent release smartphone, but it still really gets the job done, especially compared to budget devices or even some mid-range devices of today. Also has FM radio, which I really love. It's one of the major pluses if a phone has FM radio. And it has wireless charging and also NFC. So it still has features that a new release, especially budget or mid-range, will not necessarily have. It is missing some things that we kind of just take for granted right now. So you have no biometrics, and it has a micro USB charging port, and no Type C, and it also doesn't support on the go, so you can't like connect like a flash drive to it and transfer files. I have to transfer files. Normally I use my MacBook, and I actually use the Android file transfer device to transfer files to this device. Now using it today, it can be a little difficult because these devices came with a Windows Phone 8.1 operating system pre-installed, and that's long since out of date and unsupported. And the 8.1 Windows Phone App Store isn't functional any longer. So when you have one of those phones, you can't use the App Store to add apps to the device. Now I have all these devices on Windows Phone 10, and that can be difficult now because the tools that you were able to use in the past to get these phones onto Windows 10 are not around any longer. Now you have to use a hack. I found it in a forum, and it will allow you to update your devices to Windows Phone 10. The old methods, there used to be an app you can download from the App Store, but now the Windows Phone 8.1 App Store isn't there. You can't use that option. And Microsoft used to have a tool that was available on the internet that you could use to update your devices to Windows Phone 10. I think the web page for that tool is still there, but the tool itself is not functional any longer. Once you get these devices onto Windows Phone 10, though, now Windows Phone 10 is now out of support. I think the last updates for that was in 2019, but the Windows Phone 10 App Store is still there, so you can download apps. You really have this trial and error. You really have to see if the apps are still functional, because a lot of the apps haven't been updated in a long time. Some are still functional, some are not. I think it depends on what region you are in and which individual app you're actually trying to test. Like YouTube, we're on YouTube right now, so I just want to discuss that. The Edge browser Some people online says that the Edge browser still can access YouTube and play YouTube videos, but I'm not able to do that when I try it. At least the times that I've attempted, it's always not worked. There was never any real official YouTube app from Google on this platform, but there was a lot of unofficial apps. One I still use to access YouTube on Windows Phone is the let's see, the this one here, the MyTube site or app, and it's still functional on YouTube. I think there's actually a MyTube for the desktop that you can use, but there's also one here on Windows Phone, and that is still functional. There might be some other third-party apps for YouTube, but that's the one that I use. The other ones that I had downloaded aren't functional any longer. I've heard some people say that Netflix doesn't work any longer on Windows Phone, but I'm still able to access Netflix on Windows Phone. So it depends on what app that you use, what services you use, where you'll be able to find a option on Windows Phone through the App Store. But the clock is ticking. I mean, as time is passing, now that Windows Phone is 10 is unsupported, at any time they could pull the plug on the Windows Phone 10 App Store. I'm thinking it's going to be in 2021. I heard some people thinking or hoping that's going to be 2022. It's really hard to say. Some apps, they'll continue to work as long as the phone itself functions. I'm well covered in that since I have 4 of these phones. Excuse me. I wish I had 10. I have 4. So a lot of the apps that don't require a connection to the internet, just work on the resources of the phone itself, they'll continue to work going forward. So I'm well covered in that. Hoping that a lot of the offline apps will continue to work. Some will continue to work, some won't. I mean, it depends on the individual app itself. But yeah, this is one of my favorite phones, and actually my absolute favorite phone. I don't know if that will change going forward, but right now this is number one for me, and I'm going to continue to utilize it going forward. It's a great part of my collection, and I'm really happy to be able to show it to you. So this is Digital Wandering. Thanks again for watching. Signing off.